Hi, I'm Adam Sheppard.
I'm William Lai.
And together we're the founders of 8ninths. Today we wanted to share with you our experiences developing for a pretty exciting new project from Google Glass. There's been a lot of buzz about it in the industry recently, both privacy concerns as well as where this might be heading from a computing perspective and wearable computing. And we've been fortunate enough to work with a client who has the device and wanted to experiment with it, and today we're just going to show you a little bit about it. So without further ado, the unboxing. There we go. So this is glass. As you can see, it's pretty lightweight and pretty elegant design. Comes with a little bag for holding it, simple USB charger with a micro USB connector, power adapter, and that's pretty much it, right? Essentially they have packed a lot into a very small package here. You've got the prism here, which provides the heads-up display. There's battery built into this section, I believe.
Yep.
And gestural controls to move through the menuing are available through this touch screen, and a little 5 megapixel camera there also.
It's also got voice recognition. It has bone conductivity transducers, which kind of allows you to hear the sounds without it, being hearable or audible to other people. And all in all, a really sleek-looking pair of eyewear.
Yeah. I'm going to try it on and become the first glass hole of 8ninths. So, okay, it's as you can see, it's now on. You definitely feel stupid wearing it initially, but once you've had it on for a little while, it's quite surprising how quickly it feels comfortable, and you start experimenting with it a little more and more.
Let me just point out, for folks who wear glasses, it totally doesn't work. For me, as of now, there's no way to add prescription lenses to it, and so I either have to wear it over my glasses and look like even more of a glass hole than Adam is right now, or you have to take off your glasses and wear contacts for it. So for folks who wear glasses and not wear contacts, it's definitely a limitations at the moment to be able to use it for the purposes that it was designed.
There we go. So feature or navigation.
So the big thing about the Google Glass navigation is it uses what's called a card metaphor, very similar to what you experience in Google Now on iPhone and Android devices. Everything comes across a little card, and it's a really simple metaphor, and it's really suitable for the glass because of the limited ways you can interact with the objects in view.
So let's. I'm going to go through the features pretty quickly here, just so you can get a sense of them. So you navigate through the cards by swiping left and right here. So fairly intuitive metaphor, something that's pretty familiar to most people if you use a smartphone. And I like that it's a quick, easy way to quickly move through those cards William was talking about. You swipe down in order to kind of go back to the top of the menu system, so you can kind of click to push in and see into a particular card, and then down to push back up and go to the top of the stack. Let's try searching. So there's a couple of ways to search. I can use voice recognition, so OK Glass, search for Mariner's schedule. And as you can see, Mariner's schedule currently being displayed as the card there.
And it uses the same excellent Google voice recognition engine that you've seen in Google Now and other places.
I can take a picture, which is one of the more fun parts and controversial parts of the device. So, OK Glass, take a picture. How lovely. And also video. OK Glass, take a video.
And this is where I feel complete invasion of my privacy when Adam does that.
privacy is being invaded as we speak.
Yes.
All of this information is currently synced up to your Google Plus account, which you don't really have any control over, at least in the development version. You can go and, I guess, make it private if you choose, but it was a little bit of a surprise when we were playing with this initially that all of a sudden everything was turning up on the web.
So one of the big question that we had before we got our eyes on the glass is, how would the display come across? Is it superimposed in your view? Is it, how big does it look? How bright does it look? And the answer we found out is that you actually have to shift your eye to focus on that prism device right there.
Up to the top right-hand corner.
Yeah, and it is equivalent, they say, to a 25-inch HD TV at about 8-foot distance. It's really bright, it's really quite sharp for what it is, but you definitely cannot, you definitely have to shift your focus and kind of consciously look to the upper right corner.
Yeah. It takes a little getting used to, and frankly it makes me go a little cross-eyed, but different people have different experiences with it, and so it's one of those things that I think might just be a learned behavior. In addition, if you're looking at a white background, it does attempt to put a dark grayish background behind it. It's a little difficult to see when looking, say, directly out of a window, but against a darker background like a wall, it's not so difficult to see at all. And then what about connectivity?
Connectivity, it has Wi-Fi on it, so you can pair it to any Wi-Fi at your home or at your work or wherever you have a personal hotspot. It has Bluetooth connectivity, and you can use it to connect to your Android phone and take advantage of integration features that can pair up between the glass and your Android device. I think it's 12 gigabyte of storage, which is quite a bit considering the size of the device. And I mean, it's a really well-engineered piece of hardware. Being the person having the least fun with glass because of my glasses situation, I'm impressed by how much they were able to squeeze into it, but at the same time, it definitely feels like a first-generation device.
Yeah, I was expecting to be able to recognize it for it to do object recognition and provide heads-up displays like for people's Facebooks they walk down the street, but it's not quite there yet. I mean, I'm sure you've got to start somewhere, but right now it's primarily kind of this relatively basic functionality that in many cases I think I'd rather use my phone than walk around with these glasses on. But I think maybe specific scenarios like sports would be a great one, cycling, being able to see your route, your speed, a heads-up display with that.
You can use it for Google Hangout, which is probably one of the coolest features that is available right now. So Adam could be on a Google Hangout and you will be streaming what you see through the camera on the glass to the other audience. And that's a pretty cool feature. You can imagine doing interviews using it, of course with the subject's permission and understanding that you're filming them. But it's a pretty cool feature to be able to stream it. Other than that, the one big difference just to kind of point out is that it's a much simpler device in terms of user metaphors than a phone. So everything's through a card. If you have an application, and there are applications for like Evernote and other applications, you have to narrate the content of the card and then say send to or share to a particular destination. And there's no browser per se, it's all through this card metaphor.
Yeah. I'm just going to go through some cards here just so you can see them. There's the weather, there's an email, reminder, the Mariner schedule we talked about earlier, and then I can go through my photo albums, email. There's a lot here packed into a small package, and we're pretty bullish on the technology in general, and I think especially once it hits the marketplace. I think they're now saying next year, right? Not this year. Initially they were saying this year, but I think there's going to be a lot of innovation, a lot of different developers kind of coming up with different uses of it, and the hardware itself will evolve. It's all a matter of if they can make the price point reasonable enough to make it something that people are going to be willing to pay for and not feel stupid wearing.
Right, so right now the ability to develop application on it is quite limited. It's using this card metaphor to interact
What
with.
language again?
It's basically HTML and JavaScript
Yeah.
really. So you can use the card to talk to some backend service, web service that you create, and that's the amount of integrations you can do right now. But there are folks out there already, creating their own operating system, installing on the glass. And so you're starting to see a lot of interesting applications come out because they are able to completely customize the experience to whatever purpose that they're building the app for. So I think that's something to watch. Right now, using the standard metaphor, it limits you to fairly rudimentary concepts. You can overlay stuff on top of it, as we have done for one of the projects that we're doing for our client. But the complexity of that interaction is limited by the card thing, and everything needs to be to a card. It's a constraint that you have to work through. So you really have to think through the user experience and make it work for the user at this point.
Cool. Well, I think in a future episode we might actually talk about the app we specifically developed for it. It'll be coming out very shortly, and thanks for taking the time to listen, learn more. Definitely, if you have any questions or if you're looking for a glass or augmented reality development team, give us a shout. We love taking on projects like this and experimenting with new hardware.
We should say we're looking forward to all the competition that might be coming out from Microsoft, the watches that are coming, that's super exciting.
The gear.
I think, the gear, all the wearable computing in whatever form that's coming out. I think this is a beginning of a wave of wearable computing, and we're just seeing the beginning of it.
Absolutely. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.